First thing we're going to do here is to open up our schematic program. It's called DipTrace, and we can get to it by going down to the Start menu. We can scroll down. We can open up this DipTrace launcher, or we can click on schematic, one of the two. The launcher is going to give us this, which will allow us to open any of these components, which they're all modules for DipTrace. We're going to first do the schematic capture. We'll be working with the PCB layout later. When this opens up, you'll have the option of looking at the DipTrace tutorial, which has all sorts of information that you'll ever want to know. We're not going to even be using all of it, but if you'd like to look at that on your own, there it is. Now you might also get this box to show up the first time that you open it. You want to make sure that Direct 3D is checked. It's probably set to that. Also, I think that black is comfortable on your eyes like it says here, but you could also choose white, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. So right now you can see it's white, and I think that's a little harsh on your eyes. So if you didn't select black as your color and you wanted to change it, you could go up to View, Colors, and then you have the option of setting that to a black background, or you can even define your own colors here as well. But I think if you select black, that should suit all of your needs. All right, then once we have that, we also need to add a library that has the Arduino stuff in it. So the link for that I'll put into Schoology, but you can also access it at this website right here. And what we want to do is we want to click on the clicker download, and that'll allow you to download the zip file. Now when we do that, you'll see it show up down here. And because you don't have the ability to right click, we're going to do this a certain way. You'll click on the up arrow, click on show in folder. You'll notice it's zipped right now. So what we'll do is we'll double click on that. And this is the folder that we're after. And we can press Control C or Control V. Control C will cut, Control V will, or I'm sorry, Control X will cut, and Control C will copy. I'll do Control C. Then we'll go to your Documents folder. Just pay attention to where we ultimately paste this. I'm putting it in my Documents folder where I already have a folder called DipTrace. If you don't have one, you can make one, but you can just paste it directly in your Documents folder too. To paste it, you press Control V as in Victor, and so you should see that in there after you paste it. Okay, then we'll go back to our schematic. We'll go into Library and Library Setup, and we're going to add a library, and we'll click on it and rename it. We'll call it Arduino. We're going to add a folder, and you remember where you saved it. So in your Documents folder, possibly. Mine was again in my DipTrace folder, and that was the name of the file that we had pasted. We'll click OK, and we'll click OK. So now if you look up here in our libraries that we have components, user components, project libraries, and Arduino. So Arduino, now we have all the different Arduinos that are available. We'll be using the Arduino Uno, which if we wanted it, we could pull it in there, and then we could use it. For now, we'll just get rid of it. What I want to do is add libraries to my user components. This will be all the libraries that we are going to most commonly use. So what we'll do is we'll go up here and click on components, and the libraries that we're going to want will be discrete. So we'll click on discrete, then click on library tools, and we'll copy this to another group. And the group we want to copy it to is our user components. Okay. Next thing, we're going to take symbols. Same thing. Go to Library Tools, Copy Symbols, and we're going to copy this also to our user components. And also, if we scroll down, we're going to find Fairchild. So click it, select Library Tools, copy to another group, and we'll put that also in User Components. Okay, so now if we go back up here and click on User Components, we'll see we have discrete, symbols, and Fairchild. So now we just need Arduino. We can go to Arduino, click on it, Library Tools, and we can copy this also to our User Components. All right, so now again, going back to look under User Components, we see we have these 4 libraries that we'll be using. All right, the next thing we're going to do is edit our title block and sheet setup. So we'll go up to File and click on Title and Sheet Setup. And what we'll first do is click on Title Block Editor. And we'll create a title block. We'll make it 2 inches in width, overall height of 3/4 of an inch. We'll have 1 column and 3 rows. We'll click OK. So we have a total height here of 3/4 of an inch, and you can see our width is 2 inches. In our top cell, and we can access the cells by clicking on them individually. Okay, we'll click on the top cell, and we'll create a text field. And what we'll have it say here is we'll put your name. And then for font size, we'll go at 12-point font. And we'll click OK and OK. Now, if you don't see this, you can click on the preview so you can kind of take a look at what it's going to look like. Also, we'll click on this border here. We'll make a thick border around it. Then we'll click on the second cell, create a text field. We'll have this one say the class, which is electronics. For font size, we'll also select 12. Click OK. OK. We'll put a border around that as well. And in the bottom cell, we'll create a text field, and we'll have this say the date. We'll go with same 12-point font. And we'll put a thick border around that as well. We'll name this title block Electronics. And we'll click on OK. Now for title blocks, if we click on that tab, we can click the drop down under bottom right and select Electronics. You can select the rest of these to say none. Okay. So what we'll have is we'll have this appear in the bottom right hand corner of our page. We can check this display titles and display sheet. And we can then go to our borders and size, and we'll select our sheet size, which is this A, 8.5 by 11 or 11 by 8.5. And it is in landscape mode. And so now if I scroll out, and I'm doing that with the thumb wheel, or the scroll wheel, you'll see that my title block now appears in the bottom right, and this would be my sheet that it will print out on, which is an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. All right, and for now, the last thing I'd like you to do is to save your file. So go up to File, Save As, and you should also be saving this in your Documents folder. Okay, and give it a name. Remote Jammer would probably be appropriate. And you'll be done with this part.